Jet Force Gemini.
Hey! The hell are you doing?
I'm working on my review.
Okay. Proceed.
So Rareware. Everyone on the internet loves Rare. More so for the little golden age they had on the 64, and less for, But it seems like whenever people fawn over the company, they inexplicably leave out a very important title. Jet Force Gemini. Jet Force Gemini is fun, but then it's like really annoying, but it's like kind of gratifying, but at the same time it's like really grating. And then other times I'm like, oh, this is really brilliant. And then other times I'm like, Jesus Christ, why would you do that? It's stupid. Like, it's just dumb. I mean, don't get me wrong, when I rented this back in the magical time of 1999, I was in love with this game. Oh, should do a quick refresher of what the game's actually about. That's important. Alright, there are aliens that are like ants. And they start killing these little tribal dudes, right? And all the while, you're chilling in space when an alarm goes off. And as you get up out of your chair, your coffee mug slips out of your hand. And you're just sitting there like, son of a bitch, that was my favorite goddamn coffee mug. So, and then like the rest of the game is about exacting revenge on those dick aliens that set off your alarm. So, yeah, it's pretty beautiful. What players find out is that later down the road, Jeff here basically takes the world hostage unless you save all these Ewok-looking bastards who are literally allergic to themselves. You might want to sit down for what I'm about to tell you, but I'm not much of a completionist. Like, here's a list of games I 100% finished. Yeah, super impressive. So when I was given this task by Jeff here, I just bailed, which it seems many gamers did. I mean, just look at Ben here. Where'd he get? Nowhere. I rest my case. Huh. An old save file of Ben on a Nintendo 64 cartridge. Why do I have such a bad feeling about that? Well, I guess it's nothing. But now, it's time to nut up.
What nuts?
Shut up, Frank! I know I say this all the time, but it's pretty good to be back. I really adored this game when I was younger, likely because of all the nods to great science fiction. See, Rare didn't make secret of all the little sci-fi titles they took inspiration from. It was very consciously done, and you can see this very early on in the game. You've got the Yoda-like Magnus, the Space Invader style shooting mechanics, especially against those mechanical drones that keep formation, and these doors that need to be shot open a la Super Metroid. Funny thing, I had such a tough time opening this door as a kid since I was trying to use the pistol, but now I know you just blast it with a machine gun.
Stand closer to the door, dumbass.
Of course, not everything Rare pays homage to really works in this already dense design. One of the focuses during development, according to Wikipedia, was getting the tightness of a first-person shooter in a third-person game. Thus, the shooting mechanics and enemy movement were heavily influenced by Quake, according to Wikipedia. And revisiting this game now, this is very pronounced. They share in common slight auto-targeting.
Auto-targeting for pussies.
And enemies that dodge shots.
Make NASCAR evasive maneuvers.
AI that tries to dodge shots.
Make NASCAR evasive maneuvers.
Do NASCAR evasive maneuvers. A problem being that these active enemies kind of just run up on the player and hurts them on contact. It's dated with its lack of close quarter combat, and with the goofy controls it becomes a frustrating prospect to relocate these bastards.
Oh, he said a bad word.
For Christ's sake, Frank! It's funny then that the greatest element of Jet Force Gemini so far is the atmosphere, which is pure Rare. Nowhere is this more obvious than the level Tofrit. This is a serious nostalgia trip right here. The combination of dark tones and humorous moments is signature for the company. And you know, this reminds me that the game has a split-screen multiplayer mode that my brother and I used to play back in the day. Hey Frank, you want to play the multiplayer?
No!
They also get it sublimely right with the boss battles. They're huge, tough, and play off that Space Invaders vibe by keeping you locked in place and forcing you to be precise with the aiming system, which is totally intense when nailed down. I'd be lying though if I said the upcoming fetch quest wasn't dampening the experience. Vela's ship level is especially frustrating in that you see all these little tribals just barely out of reach. The game wants you to value these creatures, but it's tough when the player is fully aware that they just simply need to turn their back for now. With the backtracking I've enjoyed, there's always some type of surprising element to it, which is an issue in Jet Force because they're being so overt with what's useless and what's not.
You're useless.
Dude, don't you have anything to do?
No, it's the weekend, dumbass. Guess you wouldn't know anything about that, you unemployed bitch.
I'm just gonna have my editor Marty cut you out of everything, man.
Hey,
dude,
Marty,
don't grab that!
Leave
Come
me in
on.
all these shots! Stop!
Alright, finally back at Mizar's palace, which is the place all of the party members congregate at to start the fetch quest. It's funny because as a kid, I thought it was the end of the game. Of course, I'm sure I'm not the only one spurned for thinking that. But the overall design of this level is great because you see these areas you can't access early on, but are instantly gratified when you bring in other characters. It's like very reminiscent of Super Metroid in that way. There's also a lot of weird, cool stuff going on. The underwater level, the night vision section, those crazy giant-ass rings that remind me of the Fifth Element, and using Floyd for not a stupid race. They're not the best individual levels, but all this solid backtracking gives me hope that the rest of the game is not going to be half bad. Jet Force Gemini, yo, kick-ass game. Playing this level again is a kinda late. Luckily there's new areas to explore. Hit the end and I picked the wrong character. Goddamn. Really? Hey Rare, bite me. I got lost, man, I needed to check the map. Little did I know that in this game map don't mean map. Time to restart, yeah, time to begin again. It turns out it was just a bonus totem. Damn it! Come on! Jesus! Oh Lord, whoa.
What's that splattering noise? I smell burnt fur. Oh. It was a clean death. You know. They're gonna have to put him in a closed casket, though. Did you see how wide his eyes got? He was so happy to see you, and then... Ah! Bubba? Yeah, Forrest. That's the last thing I said to Bubba.
Goddamn. Another day and it's time to restart. I can't wait that I find in these parts. That was screaming suicide. The worst of things they burn the time. Spatter's gotta be the worst station. The place level 3 on 4 times down. Same as for this dumb fetch quest man. But the disco is super cool jam. Oh Lord have mercy, it's done. How Jeff here isn't considered one of the biggest douchebags in gaming is beyond me. Alright. Finally, at the final boss. This better be goddamn worth it. Sweet. That was actually pretty rad. You know, it's obvious I'm not a completionist, but it was great to finally finish this game by only using a guide like 3 times max for small things that aren't explained at all. And finishing it off with this amazing final boss just makes completing this game 13 years later way better. But you know, I learned something today. Revering work and biting off of it can be very beneficial, but at the end of the day, finding your own voice is the most important part of anything creative.
Did you just steal that from South Park? You stole I learned something today, didn't you? Dude, you suck at everything you put your mind to. Remember freshman year when you tried to play baseball? You were so horrible. The only time you scored, the pitcher walked you and they were already up like 10 runs. Dude, oh my god. It's like you're destined to failure. I learned that you shouldn't steal. Jesus Christ, if no one ever saw Star Wars and you stole everything from it, you'd still find a way to screw it up.